Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are. Welcome back to the Three Spurs Boys and, of course, Kuva and the Kang's ATF. But we got a special today, Coobs. Got a little bit of a special.
We do, much very reluctantly by me, but I agreed to it in the end.
But you know what? It's only because I had to finally convince you. Actually, it didn't take much convincing. You know you're special.
In what way? I hope you... No, right.
Well, let's just say the tissue box is empty, but that's for a different show. Oh, you better take more.
It's a bad cold, isn't it? Yeah. There we go. That's why the tissue box is empty.
Yeah, that's exactly it. But yeah, no, feeling better here, Coos. Of course, just got that nice little hack today that's left over. But a little bit of a different show today, so we're gonna kind of go into the mind of Kuva. It's fun.
This is our serious show as well.
This is as serious as we get.
Exactly.
We're gonna have a hard time, man.
What are people expecting?
Every time we've done a serious show, how many comments do we get afterwards on WhatsApp saying, "What the hell do you two think you're doing?"
Yeah, true.
When you start off, the first chat we look at is Ben with his 9-month member chat going.
Exactly. This is nonsense. This is the kind of scum you expect in our chat channel.
Exactly.
Asking about things we do that he likes. I'm not up for that kind of pressure.
No, exactly. But I promise you, Ben, there'll be dickies all around later on. There's teenagers in every house. Lisa O is in the house already this morning. Good morning, Ola.
Big up, Lisa.
Hello. Hiya. Hope you're well, Lisa. Hope you and the family are well. It is a bit of a football show today. Cool. We haven't done this for a while, so we're going to have to kind of get back on track here and figure out what we do. What buttons do I push again? I got to bring up banners and stuff like that and everything. And
hey, you always push my buttons in the right way, mate.
But it is that time of that kind of show today. We are actually going to talk about football. For those of you that have joined us, we'd appreciate if you hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and have your say on Spurs. Any comments, any questions? All we ask is just throw a Q in front of it. And this is more about Koofs today. He's going to be doing a majority of the chatting while I do a majority of the hacking. So, yeah, I'm just going to be the button pusher, and I'm going to see what kind of reactions I get out of Koofs.
You can...
Well, Koofs, let's get right into it, buddy. We've wasted 3.5 minutes, so that's a long time. I want to know what you think so far about Ange. I want to know if you think this is the man that's going to finally lead us to glory. We know there's a split in the fan base. It's quite divided in the sense that a lot of people already are Ange out. A lot of people are saying, well, look at what Arteta, Poch, Klopp did in their first few seasons, and in comparison, he's really not that far off, so we've got to give him time. How about it, buddy? What do you think? Where are we going? Are we going in the right direction? Is there a direction? How's that?
That goes to nearly 4.5 minutes. Keep going, mate.
Oh, okay. Well, 420 is a good number, right?
Yeah, fair. Yeah, it's been obviously talked about on every channel a lot. Is Ange the right man? Well, it's basically a recap. This, isn't it? We're talking about a manager who's not been tested in the Premiership before. He's done some exciting things with Celtic, got on playing some beautiful attacking football. But there were question marks. He's arrived, and it's a time when the club's been in turmoil, as usual. Conte being out, Mason took over for the rest of the season, Stellini took over. Yeah. And we were just going nowhere, totally directionless. We had a sort of fractured squad. Our main man was just about to leave the club, and we all knew that, and Postecoglou knew that. So Harry Kane left. That's a huge disadvantage to anybody coming in immediately. So I kind of had lowish expectations for him, but I thought, you know what, on one of these seasons, I'm just going to go full in, fanatical support no matter what. And he's the Messiah, and we're going to win the quadruple. Because it's more fun than, expecting the reality club, isn't it? So from my own sanity, I was doing that. But obviously, it didn't really work. We did okay, though. I mean, 5th place finish at the end of the day, that's all right. People will say lots of the other big clubs around us, the Man Uniteds and that, they're in such a bad state. That's the only reason we got there. Fair enough. But that is the reality. We weren't in such a good state ourselves. So I think all things considering, 5th place was a reasonable finish. We even had a chance of getting into the top 4, but too early, isn't it? What good would it have been if we got smashed all of last season? But,
exactly what I was going to say. Yeah. What's the point of getting a Champions League if we're just going to get battered in there? But to be fair, Kuva, like you said, finishing up in 5th, you and I both know I was saying 8th from the beginning of the season. And I think I would have been happy with that, as sad as it is. I know a lot of the purists are going to be like, oh, you're just a happy clapper. I'm going to say it now here on stream. Yes, I am. Woo! Come on, you Spurs. Like you said, Coops, what is the opposite? Doom and gloom, black cloud, this sucks, everything sucks. We know it. We know what's been there. We know what the history has been for over the last 2 decades. Does the future finally look bright? All we can do is hold on to hope if we choose to do so, or we could just dwell in the negative. Speaking of happy clappers,
always complaining this one.
Dude, honestly, I've never seen somebody just go on so much about how great Ange is, and the fact that Richarlison is the greatest striker in the league. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, Scott, you seriously got to tone it down. It's 7 a.m. over there, or 8 a.m.
Messaging me this morning just saying, I cannot wait for more Brennan Johnson. I just cannot wait.
He messaged that to you too?
Yeah,
I got a 3-minute clip of Brennan Johnson's highlights. Most of them from when he was born and then his first steps and everything like that. It was baby videos, but not football highlights.
Yeah.
Hey, Big D's in the house. Good morning, Brian, buddy.
A big up Scott as well.
Yeah, of course. Big up Scott, man. Hey, Stuart's in the house as well. Good morning, Stuart. Good to see everybody. Spurs Bench is here. Good afternoon. Good to see you. That's Johnny, right? Johnny's got a new channel there. He's going over there. So if you want to throw your link in there, Johnny, we'll post it up for you, buddy. Try to get you a handful more subs over there. And Lisa saying good afternoon to everybody in the chat. So Mark's already ready for next Saturday evening. But Mark, we are actually talking about football. And I know with Scott and Brian here, I think we got to revisit the first banner here, where it says thoughts on Ange so far, and is he the man who will lead us to glory? Those of you that just joined us, we're having your say on Spurs. So any questions you have, they're all going to be pretty much directed at Kuva, as I am in still a bit of a recovery mode here. So he is the man with the master plan. Coobs, you talked about last season there where some people would say that we finished higher than expected in 5th. It wasn't an extremely disappointing season, but it wasn't one to kind of light the fires and have us dancing in the streets and streaking. What do you think so far? I know we're only 3 games in. We're 1-1-1. There's a disappointing draw to Leicester at the beginning, and then a great standout performance the next game against a weak team.
To be fair, you cut me off in my prime then. No, it's fine. I was just going to finish up what I was saying about Ange. He's basically come in from different leagues, different areas of the world. People will say, "Oh, well, it's just a lower level," and they'll say things like Farmers League and things like that. I think that's an unfair, because you can't really compare those leagues anyway. So you have to look at what he's done compared to other people that have done those same jobs. And I'll look particularly at Celtic and what the Celtic fans were saying about Ange. And they were absolutely devastated when he went. They thought he was the best thing since sliced bread. They were playing the most attacking, aggressive football they've seen, scoring more goals than they've ever scored. And they were just loving life. So you look at it compared to the others, he stands out from the crowd. That includes people like Rodgers and more recent managers who nearly won the league with Liverpool at one point. But it didn't happen. Anyway, so Ange has come in as a bit of an unknown quantity, and there was a bit of excitement about it. And I'd like to think the first season, I went on record saying I'm expecting the same as we saw with Klopp or Pochettino, where it's a bit messy at first, and then you start to see things start falling into shape. He said himself, judge him on his second season. So here we are now. We are in the second season now. Are we seeing any improvements? I'd say yes and no. We seem to have developed a habit of not conceding so many from the high line, but defending badly when we need to. That's not a system thing. That's just general coaching of players. It doesn't seem right at times. However, The pressing, I think, has been sensational. It's been extremely good. You look at the Newcastle game. There were people saying it's exactly the same as last season. No, it wasn't. Last season, they were getting the ball and having free reign to launch counter-attacks, devastating counter-attacks, every time they got the ball. This season's game, we pressed them so intensely, they very rarely got that opportunity. Unfortunately, one of the times they did, when Maddison dived in a little bit too aggressively, got turned, and then Joe Linton had a free reign to pick his pass and, of course, goal from it. So it's not perfect. And you could argue that the problem with Ange's style is you're going to have to play almost perfectly to avoid conceding chances. But he knows that. It's high risk, high reward. Much the same as Pochettino's high line was. The difference being we had players who could put the ball away under Pochettino. We had really good players, especially we had Harry Kane. And then you look at the back, Vertonghen, Alderweireld with Moussa Dembele sat in front of them. That is a hell of a rock solid three there to have at the back line when you're getting countered. We don't have that. I like, obviously, everybody likes Mickey van der Ven. I'd question one thing. I would question one thing, though. If you take away his pace, is he a great defender? I'd say possibly not. He's okay. But if you... That's what's true. It's his pace that.
Why are you so angry with me?
Because I'm making now the comparison with Romero.
I've told you this before. Talk about my wife. Make fun of my kids. Mickey.
Park it, Bobby. It's my turn, mate.
Sorry.
No, I'll make the comparison now with his partner, Romero. Romero does not have that blistering pace, but I think he's a better all-round footballer than Van der Ven is. It's true that so it's a partnership, isn't it? They work well together. So that's all you really need to know. And in some ways, it's unfair to judge just one by themselves. Like I think Brian Dagley put up the poll on Tottenham on Tour the other day. Who's the better defender out of Vertonghen or Alderweireld? Yeah. And I thought, that's such a nasty question to answer because you just think of them as a partnership. All the best defenses always are. It's built on partnerships, even in the midfield. In the old days with the old standard 4-4-2, you'd have a midfield partnership. One would go forward and the other one would say, all right, I'll hang back, cover you. And you just built up these things over time. Right now, the team chops and changes season after season so much. There's no consistent part to it. I'm hoping Romero and Van der Ven form the basis of a long-term partnership at the back, but have a feeling we may have bought Dragusin to replace Romero at some point. Because I think Real Madrid
that's a rumor that's already started. But you saw his comments. He came out himself saying that he wants to win here and stuff. But in reality, what player is not going to say that? Well, you're going to have a mic and a camera shoved in your face about the team that you're currently on, and they're asking you about going somewhere else. What are you going to turn down and say, yes, I can't wait to go there. I hope they put a transfer in for me.
Yeah.
No player is going to say, well, no player with even a quarter of a brain would say something like that. But there is getting a bit of backlash here, buddy. First, Lisa's really not happy with the fact that we haven't talked about Sheikh Kadikazi and we haven't done Sisters for Sundays yet.
Lisa. We will fix that in a future show quite soon.
Yes. Saturday nights, Lisa. Don't worry. We will sort you out, my dear. Jose's not happy. He's saying he's technically a good footballing center half.
You're not saying he's bad.
You're so negative. Okay, Lisa's jumping on the negative train, and Ian is just brokenhearted. Sunshine is saying, "I never thought he'd see the day where he'd break his heart on." But the big dog has weighed in and said, "You need to be timed out, banned, and suspended from YouTube for such blasphemy."
It will happen.
Comments like that are the kind that kind of break relationships. Oh man, I did the correct answer is Vertonghen. Oh. That's a different debate to have. Romero's leaving this summer. You know what, Scott?
That's another one of the unpopular ones. On that poll, I said Alderweireld's better than Vertonghen as a defender. It's just Jan's got the style, hasn't he? He's the eye candy part of the partnership. So I'll pick him for that.
I know what you mean.
I'll pick him for that because I just like the style of football better. But again, it's partnership. I wouldn't break them up. They were fantastic together with us. I'm sticking with what I said on VD Van der Ven anyway. If you actually took away his pace, that is the bit that stands out, isn't it? If you look at the rest, is he the best header of the football? No, not really. Is he always in the right position? I think, yeah, he's decent. He's decent. He's a good player. But you take away anybody's greatest strength, they're not going to be the same player, are they? Anyway, we do have him, and he does have that pace.
Interesting.
So that's what's important.
Ben's saying that you take Romero out, we can survive. Take VDV out, and everything falls apart. There's levels of difference there. But it could be argued that you're saying that's that pace and the recovery that he's able to get back that Romero doesn't have, right? Scott M is clearly agreeing with you. I'm surprised because he's been just... we're talking about Van de Ven. He's not a fan of Van de Ven. He's a Johnson fan, right?
I know I've lost the plot now. If Scott M's agreeing with me, I've gone off the track.
No, it's nothing. Katie already. Big up, Five Guys. Good to see you, buddy. Kuva, I don't even recognize you anymore. Clap your hands if you're being held hostage. And blink twice, Cubes. Blink twice.
Well, he's probably having too many drinks while he's on holiday in Canada, isn't he?
Milkshakes, though. Milkshakes, right?
Milkshakes. Yeah, oh, yes, of course.
It's all that. He's got a sugar rush.
He's
got Delulu from the sugar. V even makes a lot of mistakes, but flashy plays it gets ignored, huh?
Yeah, you notice Van der Ven could have a sort of fairly averagey sort of game, but then he'll do one burst of acceleration to get the ball away from the attacker, and everybody will be, wow, he's had an amazing game. You've got to do the whole 90 minutes. He's a good player, though. I'm not going to say he's a bad player. I'm just going to say it's that pace that makes him stand out so much, not purely his defensive ability. Players like John Terry have no pace. Matt Hummels has no pace, but they're outstanding defenders. So, you know, which part is most important for us? Actually, the pace is what's needed because we don't have it in other parts of the team, and our fullbacks are way up the pitch somewhere. So he's vital for us. Yeah, but I know he's got limitation. He's not the perfect defender. He's just got an incredibly that pace gives him an incredible weapon to use against people, as it will with any player.
So how long will it last? We've seen him pop his hamstring last year. We've seen him already get injured this year now from being forced to make those runs and overextend himself. Basically, you know, he's out there. He's basically in a marathon, not a 100-meter sprint.
And we depend on it as well.
Yeah.
Without that pace, our pressing has to be perfect the whole game. You can't let the opponents turn and pick a pass. You've got to be on it constantly. I think that's a tough ask. But it's part of Ange's system, so we've got to see this season whether he can do it.
There was a comment up here from Ben that I just started and put away for a little bit. I did want to go back into it, and I want to see what your thoughts about it are. In reality, for me, is my season ticket has gone up 6%. He wants to see an increase of 6% in improvement on the team. I think that's a really fair statement and a fair demand from a fan that's consistently there. You know, I've always said this, that I think that we're being pushed into becoming a tourist club because that would be ideal for Levy. Fans without the true passion and stuff like that, the ones that call out the club, the ones that call him out for the lack of silverware and the lack of progress, and ones like Ben that are just saying, look, I'm not saying I want people out and this, that. Well, we won't talk about that too much, about what Ben thinks, but I think this is a very fair statement from Ben to say, if you want 6% more money from me, I want 6% more product from you.
Yeah.
I think that's very fair. I don't think it can be
put very logically sound, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mind you, at these prices, I'd expect the quadruple every season.
What do you mean? You're not expecting it this season? I don't get what you're saying then. Are you being a downer like Steve all of a sudden?
Well,
you saw Steve's comment earlier, right?
I think we're still struggling a bit. It might only be the treble, you know.
Oh, Steve said something much more horrible than that earlier. It's here. I still got it. I don't know what's worse.
That's just being a bit negative, isn't it?
Yeah, Steve, stop being such a negative Nancy, okay? Mark Cousins is still playing games. I don't know what side, but somebody was at the pub last night or this morning. Kudos is here. Your season tickets are massively out of proportion for what you're getting.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of the fans, but again, now I know you're over there in England, but I'm over here and we're not season ticket holders. We're not going consistently. We're not putting our money out consistently. We're not there supporting the club as best as we can and then getting nothing back for it. So do you think that influences and impacts how we truly feel about it versus somebody like Ben who's shelling out hand over fist every season?
Well, I am old school with my thoughts on this anyway, because I still believe football should be for the working man, and it is basically, it should cater to the community around each club first and foremost. Of course, welcome people from abroad to come and watch games as well, but you've got to get it right for the locals, because that's where the club's foundations are. That's where the history is. We didn't used to have all the European competitions even. Even that started in the 60s. Before that, it was just the people from around the area go to cheer the hell out of their team. Even when I started supporting, you could go to pay on the turnstile. It's only a couple of quid to get in. And it's just the way it was. If it got full, it got full. Nowadays, the money's ridiculous. It's ruined football. Said it before. Formation of the Premier League is one of the worst things that's happened to the game.
But you see it in every sport, though, Coos.
Yeah, true.
You come over here and
as soon as the money's injected, then you get the money men coming in to run it because they see the profit.
Yeah. It's like our dear friend Ian Meth. He had sent a message in one of the groups. He's in Vancouver currently, and he wanted to watch a hockey game, Vancouver versus Dallas, and I think he said it was $20 Canadian, so about £12 to watch a game.
Yeah,
you try getting into to watch the Maple Leafs over here in Toronto for less than $100. I would say at minimum you're paying $60 for nosebleed tickets off a scalper after the game has started. That would be your best case scenario.
Ridiculous.
And again, there's another team that hasn't won anything since the 60s. So, the comparisons would be made, but they generate right?
It kind of does tie into what the question was as well, because can Ange lead us to glory? Oh, sorry. Ian said, imagine if we win something, JFC Levy would jack those prices up to an insane number. Yeah, of course he would. You cannot make the argument for supply and demand, but then we're talking about business again, aren't we? Is the club a business? Not for me. It shouldn't. Well, it is, but it shouldn't be.
But then the argument can be made that if we could concentrate on the business end of it, this is where I've seen not a lot of fans, but I've seen some fans. I know my cousin who's in England and the one that inspired me to be a Spurs fan, he has basically said that if it wasn't run the way it is, we would be in a situation kind of like other clubs. We would do what Leeds did back in the day kind of thing. We would fall apart financially. We're structurally stable, financially stable. There's been growth and everything in terms of the investments. The money has to be generated for the money to come in. But this is our fifth season now in the stadium. And we look at the finishes compared to previous seasons, and we're worse. So how are you shoveling that shit out and expecting everybody to buy it? But before I get your thoughts on that. Hi, Leo.
Hi, Leo.
Right. So Scott M is just saying football should be for everyone, the elite, wealthy TTC workers who want to. Oh yeah, extremely elite over here, Scott. You know what, Scott? So seriously, for everybody that gives Scott shit, man, I'm telling you now, he's a cheeky guy, man. He's a good guy.
I like Scott as well.
Yeah, Ian's saying the business end of the club is great, which is correct. The income streams are solid. Cut the damn prices for the tickets a bit, and then you go to the what's his name? The guy from Bayern Munich, the president that basically said we could ask for more money. But we're not here we're not here to make money. We're here to make football great.
I think as good a quote as that was, I think that's a bit out of date now, because I think Bayern did jack their prices up.
But is that staying in today's market? Because at the end of the day, when you look at the price, do we not go to the grocery store and see that our prices have gone up on everything?
It's debatable, isn't there? There is an argument for making it free for all fans to get in. There's enough TV money in to run clubs easily. but then wages are jacked up as well. Should we put a wage cap back in the game?
I think it'd be impossible because you'd have to have the World Footballing Organization basically join up and say, yes, we're going to do this.
You could call them something like, I don't know, FIFA. I'm just saying you could do it if you really wanted to.
If you really wanted to, yeah. Speaking of which, did you ever watch that documentary thing on?
Oh God, yeah.
Crazy, eh?
Absolutely
crazy.
Insane.
Yeah. Jay, what was that thing called? That FIFA thing on Netflix? FIFA Uncovered. So for those of you who haven't got a chance to check it out, it is crazy. The money that starts getting generated when Sepp comes in and takes over, and the growth though. Ian saying the German. Good.
That's FIFA. They're telling you to shut up.
Oh, it's Scott M saying, can you make sure you shout out Brennan Johnson for me? I need everybody to know how much I absolutely adore and love him. He's the greatest winger ever. David Ginola isn't fit to shine his boots. Okay, so Scott's laying down saying that he obviously has a lot of love for Johnson, which kind of leads us into this perfectly. So, Coops, I know we're only 3 games in. It's early days and stuff.
So we're ignoring the will Ange lead us to glory bit, then, are we?
Oh, okay. I thought we were done with that. No, we're not. I'm sick, man.
I'm just going to be really negative, and I'll just say no. It won't.
Really, eh?
It's not because I think he's terrible. I know some people do, but I think he's a decent manager. I think he's got some interesting ideas. It's exciting as well. I just don't think the club's going to provide what he needs. And that's been the same for any manager over the last, 24 years, funny enough.
That's actually kind of sad because I know you've been extremely positive and looking forward to seeing if he could be the guy that leads us. But are we allotting him enough time to make this decision correctly right now?
Well, I've been on stream saying it before. I would have loved to have seen what Ange could do at a club like Manchester City, where he's got all the resources and they will provide whatever he wants. I think he could make an incredibly exciting team that way. At Spurs, we will do it on club budget, club signings. Ange himself says they're all signings he wanted, but come on. You just look at it with any manager that says that at this club. Yeah. You look at the players that we've been linked with in the past, they suddenly arrive or they're already at the club and the manager will say, oh, that's the player I wanted. What a coincidence. Amazing that it all fitted together that well, isn't it?
So Daniel's coming in January?
Yeah, well, saying what's an Ange signing and what isn't, who knows? All I'm telling you is some of these players that you arrive on a free or with a contract about to expire sort of sings to me as a transfer policy rather than the manager's pick, doesn't it? Some of them, sometimes you'll get the manager getting who he wants, no doubt about it. I've just not seen anything to convince me the manager and the club and the recruitment are all hand in hand here. I think this is a long-term club strategy meets manager that needs something else, and I think that's always going to be the case at this club.
Stuart saying he's only seen Kuva uncovered on your OnlyFans channel, Kuva versus Hummus. I'd like to correct you on that, Stuart. It was actually tzatziki. It wasn't hummus. Hummus, he says, sticks to him too much, and he creates a thick paste that's hard to wash off later. He likes the stuff that's easier to lick off. But that's just for a different show. I just wanted to correct you on that one. Kudos is saying he agrees with Will Smith's view on him. I don't think the system is the problem. He thinks it's the players, like it usually is, which would feed into what you were just saying about again. How could it be the Ange player that he wanted when it was a player we were linked to before he even showed up here?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is true. But how rare is it for a manager to speak out against it? Even when Mourinho was that summer, he was provided with everything. He said, "I'm happy with the squad." You can't instantly just speak out against your chairman without repercussions, as Conte found out. So managers are going to say things. They're happy with players. You can't alienate your players if that's what the only ones you've got to use for that season. You can't just say, I didn't want him, he's crap, and then have to use him anyway. Can't take a single Spence out because he's not going to play him.
Yeah, fair enough. If you know it's not a player that's going to impact your squad, or you're not going to use him at all, not even to warm your bench.
Tommy does follow up saying Ange is a yes man, and he is.
Yeah, so
most managers
Tommy is saying you're wrong here. Tommy. I just want to say on this show, Kuva is never wrong. It's three Spurs boys. He can never be wrong. It's just So
that's the trouble with a lot of these things. It's opinion, isn't it? Because we're not there. We don't know for sure what's happening unless we are directly involved with conversations with them. So all I'll do is compare it to what's been happening in the past with this current ownership, and we know things are not necessarily driven by the manager.
And what about you? What are your thoughts on Jason's comment here? Big up, Jason. I'm assuming Andrew agreed with signings, but he may have preferred other players. I think that's
I think that's fair enough. He's accepting what he's given. So it's on him either way now. Whether I agree with the signings coming, whether I think that's what he really wanted. No, I don't think it's necessarily what he really wanted. But if you're going to sign off on it and say, I'm happy with that, then it is on you then.
What about this, though? Surely got to be the only player I generally think you actually want was Solanke. That's a big chunk to spend out. Do you think Solanke come back will impact our team?
Yes. Yeah. I think he'll be a big improvement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Might not happen instantly. We've got to run a tricky games and everything, but he will settle in. He does add more because I don't see anybody else that holds the ball up that well.
And Scott saying give Ange even his pick of all the players from City and Madrid, he would win nothing because he doesn't focus on defense enough. It's too much just flying high blitzkrieg offense only.
Nah, if the talent is there in attack and they're playing the way you wanted, you don't really need to spend much time defending. Look at Pep's Barcelona team. They would just be camped in the opponent's half, winning the ball back almost instantly. And you have players like Iniesta and Messi working their socks off to get the ball back the moment they lost it. It can work. You just need the players that are on the ball. And when they do get the ball, they do something worthwhile with it. We don't have that. Iniesta and Messi looking to spark your attacks, whereas we've got Brennan Johnson, Timo Werner, Odegaard, Richarlison. None of these players are getting in top teams.
I'm so glad you didn't say Mickey there. After all the hate you showed him earlier.
I think Mickey's a good player. I'm sure you're winding me up now. it's just with any player in the world, if they've got one standout talent or attribute, that's what you're going to see most associated with them. With Mickey, it's that searing pace, and it does give him an advantage on players without doubt.
I agree with that, Coos, but it's. I also see that it's going to break the kid down if we're going to rely on him to just do that, to make these 100-meter dash kind of runs a few times in a game. These sprinters that run in the Olympics, they prepare to run 100 meters for how long? They run that once in a day and they're done. That's it. We're expecting him to do it several times in a game. His body's going to break down. He's going to pop out hamstrings and stuff. He's going to have major issues. There's no avoiding that if that's what our expectations on the kid are. So he definitely needs a better system or better players to kind of support it. What do you think about Jason Bell's comment here? We also have to remember that we don't have the draw to bring in whatever players we want right now without the Champions League. And maybe, like you say, maybe people aren't kind of sold on Ange. They look at him as a lower kind of manager.
I would say we're still Tottenham Hotspur, world renowned. We just have a glorious history that's sort of died in the last 20, 30 years. But we do have that big fan base still. Not as big as some of the other teams, sure. Can we have the same pull as a Manchester United or Real Madrid? No, of course not. But we will still have plenty of players that will want to come and play for this club. Players that might even want to use us as a stepping stone, which is fair enough. If we pay a reasonable amount for that player, they come in, give us 5 great years, and then go off for huge profit. I've got no problem with that. You just have to reinvest it and do the same again with 3 players from that money. Trouble is, that's not what we do, is it? So I think we don't have the draw of other teams, but we've still got a big draw. I mean, we're an established Premiership club, on the TV all the time, get talked about, and who else has such a renowned chairman? Well, he's on the news all the time.
I'm picking up sarcasm there, a lot of it. Sarcasm radar here just went right off the tilt.
Back in the day when I was growing up, nobody knew who the chairman was at clubs.
Before I started YouTube, I didn't know who the hell Daniel Levy was, man. I'm not going to lie. I was a happy clapper, deluded fan that just sat over here and watched the games the odd time that we got them on telly, and that was it. I was happy with that. I'm kind of half disappointed with Daigle and half happy that he brought me into this world because it's opened my eyes to a lot of things I didn't know about before. And I guess that's the beauty of having all these different shows and different channels and everything. You see a lot of different perspectives and different opinions. Jason Bell with another great comment here. He's on fire this morning. Our chairman doesn't prioritize winning, and top players want to win. So we're not even willing to overpay them to compensate for the fact that you should have low expectations.
Yeah, we're not going to be signing any world superstars. That's true. Totally agree with the comment. But there is a level below that, and I think we are kind of targeting those players on times. That is the Mickey Van der Vens, it is the Romeros, it's the Adogis, where they're not established, world-beating, done everything.
I spent $65 million on Solanke. Is he a world beater?
No, but that's the price you pay for an English. That's the English tax, isn't it? And the price you pay for a forward now is going to be a lot if they fit what you need, because they're a premium. That's another long conversation, but that's about the art of being an out-and-out striker. It's almost gone nowadays. You need to be an all-round player. And that means you're not going to be scoring 30, 40 goals a season. You'll be scoring 15 to 20 and then adding 15 to 20 in assists. And then you've got a forward line of 3 people doing that. And then midfielders chipping in. The game's just evolved, and those mavericks have gone out of the teams, and out-and-out specialist goal scorers seem to have as well. There's exceptions like Haaland, of course, and Lewandowski, but otherwise, you're looking at the all-rounders. I think Solanke is an all-rounder. I think he's got a lot more to his game than people realise, and I think we'll look a lot better when he's had an established him as himself and had a run. Unless, of course, we got our Werner and Johnson supplying him, in which case he'll be lucky if he scores 3.
In 500 games.
500, yeah.
You think he's going to get that many? Kudos is just saying he thinks Mickey will be better than both Toby and Yan. He's not saying Ledley. He didn't mean to put Ledley there, so I'll correct that before anybody attacks him. That's a big statement. That's a really big statement. I know you don't rate him in the defensive aspects, and when you're comparing him to somebody like Toby and Yan, 2 guys that were not known for pace, but Yan definitely knew where to be. There's another guy I don't really like talking about him in a positive way, only because of who he played for, but I still remember one of the first defenders that caught my eye when we started getting football over here on television was Tony Adams when he played for Arsenal. The guy had moved like a small, slow, fully loaded garbage truck.
Yep.
But he somehow was always there.
I'd say John Terry was even slower. But he's always knew the right place to be.
Yeah. Always knew. There you go. Reach for the stars, Leo. Definitely. Daniel Coyes is in the house. Good stuff, buddy. Guarantee you, Mickey Duke. Well, Mark, I hope you're wrong, buddy. You also guarantee that you're going to become prime minister and ban chocolate. So I definitely hope those 2 things do not happen. Theo's just saying hi here. Our forward line, the Sunday League. Ooh.
I agree.
Okay, that was quick.
I think Solanke's going to help. I think he's an improvement, but we're talking about replacing Harry Kane. It's impossible anyway, so I won't put too much pressure on Solanke. I think we will just look better when he's in there. We'll have more balance.
Jason Bell again saying that he thinks we could win something this season. We just got to take the cups more seriously. So, who is Horland?
That's how you pronounce it in Norwegian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Can't believe he was calling up Mickey defensive. That's actually pretty funny. That's what he...
No.
He's on to something. Dave's got you there.
No. Adama Traore, as far as I'm
Start
concerned,
this
isn't
shit.
even a footballer. Adama Traore has no talent whatsoever.
I'm telling you, though, if the next game, Mickey Van Ven comes out shining, gleaming from baby oil, you know I'm hitting the ground laughing, right?
What, built out like a wardrobe.
Comes out like this. Oh, man. Leo, definitely bring the positivity, saying we could definitely win something this season. I'm not saying the Prem, but we're 4 campaigns. Yeah, stranger things have definitely happened. Look at, just look at in the past. There's been a lot of Cinderella teams, a lot of things. Daniel saying the Newcastle game was a game where I'm finally done with this forward line. 48 touches Newcastle about to their 18.
Yeah.
We didn't even get a draw. Yeah. Oh, Bobby Wright's in here. Long time, man. I know Bobby just had a birthday a couple of days ago there. So happy belated birthday to you, man. Hope you're well, man. Hope you're well. And Leo, hope your foot's feeling better, man. Yeah. Kudos, they definitely were.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. No surprise,
I think that's the trouble
Arsenal legend. Says the guy that wears red and white with your Calgary. Shut up, Scott, but I still love you. Sorry, Coops.
I think that's the trouble, though, isn't it? When you follow a team, support a team, you're always going to be biased against others. But if you take your Spurs hat off over the Premiership period, you can say Arsenal have had some fantastic players.
Yeah, so have we.
So
has
we,
everybody.
But not too many.
Yeah, even you go down into the lower leagues and stuff like that. There's been a couple of gems that have come out of there too. The odd one here pops up.
Yeah.
I was just saying, hey, the number 1 Agam bar in the world is here. Big up, Chris. Good to see you, man. Us, man, they're all the same, aren't we? Yes, we are. And David Shire's in the house. Good day, Cobbers. Big up, Cobber. Good to see you, mate. Stuart has a £5 bet on with the Sun. He says, we'll win something. I said we won't. So Stuart's Sun is clearly positive, while Stuart is a black cloud. Is that right?
Hey, I'm a total hypocrite and flip-flop anyway. I put a £5 bet on us to win the quadruple every season. I don't believe it, but it's fun. Why not? At some point, miracles do happen. So all you got to do is try your best and see if you can be in the mix when it comes to winning something. Maybe we get lucky. Maybe we get lucky with draws in some of the cups, or we just suddenly click into place and the goals do start flying in, and we can absorb the 2 or 3 we concede in a game. Maybe that happens.
That's I'm just thinking, could you imagine what the payoff would be for that? What are the odds on that? 1,500 to 1? 2,000 to 1?
Yeah, they don't give out odds or like that anymore because of what Leicester did.
Yeah, what was that? 5,000 to 1 or something?
5,000 to 1, yeah, they won't do that anymore. They're stung once, they're not doing it again.
And there was some guy in England bet like £50 or something, wasn't it? And cleaned up?
£20 bet, yeah.
£20 bet. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's not bad. 100 grand payout. Audio is asking a question here. If you could attend the upcoming fan forums, what would you ask Levy or Ange?
I'd ask.
When you start with what would you ask Levy? Yeah, go ahead.
I'd ask Levy, when does he intend to leave?
So never. I can give you the answer for that.
Yeah.
No
Otherwise, I would ask him, can he confirm what our actual objectives are for the next 10 years, rather than just saying to be competitive, because that means nothing. Every club in the Football League aims to be competitive. So instead of meaningless words, give us some vision. Give us something you can be accountable for. Say, we want to win the league within the next 10 years, like the Newcastle owners did when they came in. There's an objective there. You can hold them. You can gauge how well they're doing based on that objective. Levy doesn't do that. It's all meaningless waffle and kicking the can along the road. That's what I'd want to ask Levy. I'll know he wouldn't reply, but what I'd ask Ange is...
before you go to Ange, though, with Levy, in regards to that, then, this is, again, the flip side of the argument where people are saying we spent 100 million just on Gray and Solanke. Does that not show somebody that's investing in the club push it forward? Now, we know they're both not world beaters. Solanke had one good season, and Gray is an up-and-coming talent for another one for the future. But that kind of investment...
No, I think Solanke's one for right now. We needed somebody like him up front.
I'm saying Gray is one for the future. It's Solanke.
Oh, Gray's certainly one for the future. he may surprise people and push his way into the team this season, but he's an unknown because you don't know how long it's going to take, especially young players, to settle in at a club. He might never settle in. That's a risk. It's a risk with any player when you sign them. But there's been top name players go to clubs and say their wife can't settle in the area, and it causes their form to dip, and they want to leave for that reason. You just don't know with some of the youngsters in particular.
You really don't like Danish,
I mean, Gray could turn out by the end of the season. He could be playing regularly for the first team and then the England side. You just don't know. Alternatively, he may be left out of the team, homesick, and wants to go back. You just wait and see.
No, I thought you were just being cheeky with the unhappy wife thing. I thought you were taking a dig at your Danish partner compatriot there with Ericsson. Sorry, you were saying?
It happens.
And Ange?
And Ange, I think first thing would be, is the club what you were expecting it to be? Because I don't think it is. I thought he was going. I was under the impression he's going to some club that's ready to compete on all fronts for things, and we're not. But again, you couldn't get an honest answer out of him because there's no way he's going to say, "Oh, it's a mess, mate."
But that being said, again, he's been brought in for a project, and we're seeing the start of that project. We've cleared out a lot of deadwood we all did not want here anymore. A lot of players are gone that we did not want.
But the counter argument to that is, are we bringing in the next lot of deadwood? Because some of these players aren't up to it.
Fair enough. Sideline saying here, Solanke was a great prospect at Liverpool. Yeah, he was. He like you said, he was just the competition for spots at the time was very high when he was coming up. They had the Fernando Torres and stuff there, didn't they, at the time?
Yeah. Everybody at Liverpool, I remember it well. They rated him. He had some footballing talent, but as a striker, he just couldn't score goals, and that's just not good enough. He needed to have that time to drop down to the Championship, so it was a little bit easier for him, and he got the knack of scoring goals. He's brought it back up to the Premiership the season after. So I think he'll be all right. He'll do the job, I think. But like I said, he's no Harry Kane, is he? He's not going to score 40 goals in the season. Or
there's one Harry Kane. We all know.
Yeah, he's not going to get like 4 goals away at Leicester in the season, or it's that kind of thing, isn't it? Horses for courses. We just needed somebody. He does fit the role, but how well he does, we don't know yet. I'm confident he'll do okay for us, though.
What do you think about this comment from Kudos? Some players just blew late. Look at Vardy. He's putting the faith in Solanke. So Solanke's he's not old. He's what, 26? 27?
26. I think he's 26. Yeah,
he's
possibly
there,
27. Right? Yeah.
Jay, you know how old Solanke is?
26.
26?
26, 27.
Okay, that's the guess we just gave. Thank you.
Oh.
26 or 27. Thank you for your input, son. And that's my college boy.
Well, that's another conversation.
What's that?
26.
26. We got confirmation.
Yeah, fair.
We went to the library.
Yeah.
Bobby's saying he'll put a £5 bet to win the Europa. Don't see the odds being really high. You never know.
I'll be interested to see how we treat the Europa. Are we going to use it as the platform for the youngsters to play, or are we going to go all out for it? I think we'll put the youngsters in.
Fair enough.
I think the chairman's brief is going to be the same every season. League placing is priority above everything. Anything else, good luck with what's available, but don't put all your prime players in every match.
But do you think that it worked, I think, so successfully for the first few years in the Levy reign, only because I firmly believe it's the lack of technology and information being passed around the world. Like I said, it's only been 2 years now that I've been on YouTube, and what my eyes have been open to in the terms of the structure of the club, backdoor dealing, what's happening financially, where we are, the bad deals we've made, the good deals we've made. None of this I knew about before because I didn't go out there and actively research it on my own. So now that it's being put in front of me and I know it's there and I'm seeing everything. You see things in a different light. So I firmly believe more and more people are turning against what he's done with the club because he's been given a quarter of a century to write it, and he just simply has not. So do you think that the time is coming where he's going to know finally that there really is a bullseye on him, or you think he just does not give a shit? You can line up a million people in front of him at protest, he won't care.
He's become, I think he's become a billionaire personally, hasn't he, Levy?
Oh, he's definitely a billionaire by now. What are you getting?
It's close if he isn't that, but he's made an incredibly lavish lifestyle for himself out of this.
Well, his stake is what, 20-something% in the club, right?
Yeah, so you're not going to just
eke him out like that. Successful business.
He's going to have to want to go, and if the money's rolling in, and every other week he's got a home game where the club prints £1 million, why would he want to give that up?
I've said this before. If I ran a successful business, I'm making hand over fist money. My business has gone from being worth 30 million to 7 billion in a quarter of a century, and I'm worth just more money than I ever would have thought of in my life, and it's still coming in and rolling in. What the hell would I care about what even 60,000 fans in the stadium when I know there's millions worldwide now that I can attract?
Exactly. If anything, the local fans, the sort of long-term Spurs fans before all the high-profile Premier League kicked off and everything, they don't matter to the club, because why is that going to matter more to a businessman than somebody coming from abroad with family, with thousands of pounds to spend on merchandise and having a great time, as they should do? But they're now the priority because that's where all the money's coming from. A fan that just pops in locally, say Ben Kaufman, for example, he might just grab a drink on the way with a few friends, get into the ground, watch the game, and just piss off. He's not going to go through the club shop and spend 800 quid on memorabilia. So that's not a fan that Levy's going to want. That's the sad fact of it. We have got a businessman who's interested in making money running the club. That's
what I've said. He doesn't want Ben Kaufman there. He wants me there.
Yeah, exactly.
He wants a guy that's flown over from somewhere else in the world.
And the sad part is
going to send the money.
Yeah, the sad part is that is most clubs nowadays, because all that money that's getting pumped into the game from the TV rights especially, it's attracted those sorts of people that like money and want money above all else. And they see it as an easy cash cow with a captive market, basically, because if you're a Spurs fan, you're a Spurs fan. You're not going to change team. You're not going to, suddenly not care about the club, because we've got love for the club. Even when we're in despair and talking bad things about the club, it's because we want it to be better. We want things to improve. We want it to be what it used to be. But he doesn't have to care about all that. All he needs is something that just excites us for every now and then. If we're having a really bad time when we suddenly beat Arsenal 5-0, everybody's going to be happy as hell. Of course they would, because that's our nature. That's what being a fan is. So we're a captive market for him, and there's nothing we can really do about it. I know Brian wouldn't like to hear that, but I think there's a kind of acceptance from most people as it's you can't just force somebody out like this easily. It has to be something a plan for when things do change. There will be people looking for alternatives, and then they'll remember there's a section of us that have said Levy out for a long time.
I don't think it'll ever happen, Coops.
Yeah, the only way I can ever see it happening is if you start. The only way I can ever see it happening is if you start embarrassing the people that are sponsoring the club. If they turn up and there's huge demonstrations everywhere, and they're negotiating with Levy for a huge deal, and they say, "What's all that about, Daniel?"
Yeah,
that could have an effect.
I think it'd be minimum, though. I honestly think the only way this guy ever goes is 210 years from now when he maybe dies, because evil doesn't die. And
that's
certainly
true.
If somebody buys the club,
he'll market his Spurs range of cryo chambers, won't he?
Well, that's what the lower level is, isn't it? Joe Lewis is already being iced up.
Yeah, he's been dead since 1970.
72.
Oh, okay.
Patty's saying, afternoon, you fantastic guys. Great to see you're better, Bobby. I knew you loved me. I care so much. I'm looking concerned for you. Extremely positive. Appreciate that, Patty. Hope you're well, and congratulations on yesterday's big England win. I know you're really, really happy about that. A couple Irish boys scored in that too. So, Slanky was a great prospect for Chelsea at Liverpool. Was supposed to finish. Yeah, okay. Daniel.
Yeah. Doesn't always work out, does it?
He's asking how it. So this is a question I guess he would want to ask. I would ask him how he managed to get so many of the fan base to believe success is success. Oh, okay. So this is a question he would ask Levy, I guess. Problems club's ownership is the PL, the Premier League is not a league, it's corporate. Yeah, we've said that already.
Yeah.
It shows the opposite. I don't know when Scott threw that in, but I'm sure it's regarding something we were talking about here. I'm really behind here. Fan forums is monitored very tightly. Every question will be looked at, and every person will be checked. It's a lot tighter this year than the last one. Yeah, because they probably know that there's going to be questions that they don't want to answer, or questions that are being asked that are appropriate and are for the fan base, but they don't.
That's the beauty of being a multi-billionaire organization, is you can filter out whatever the hell you want.
Hey, Chris. Yeah, Chris has joined us here. Paul's joined us here as well. Good evening, everybody. Please remember to hit that like button and subscribe. And something else the other YouTube people say, I should just make a little video about it. It'd be easier here. Get your super chats in, your memberships in, and what else is there?
All the usual stuff. Blah, whatever.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but we just appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for adding to the chat and throwing in some questions here. Anyone who thinks that Levy will keep going with the project but not getting top 4 Europe with them pulls trigger on the manager. But Daniel, we've kind of already addressed that. Kuva's already said that he has a feeling that if you did talk to Ange and were able to honestly ask him questions, he would probably have to say that, yeah, I've been brought in to make sure that we get top 4.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the criticisms is Ange is a yes man, but if you're getting paid that amount of money to do a job, it's very difficult to say things against your employer there, isn't it? So, what do you expect from him? He can't come out and Conte did it, but I mean, Conte's obviously comfortable with knowing he's going to get another high-paid job anywhere else. And he ended up, he did. He went back to Italy. He's doing managing again. I think most managers, Ange in particular, it's a dream come true for him. He's getting paid insane amounts of money to manage in the Premiership. He's untested, so let's see what he can do. First season, I'm not even judging him on it. As he said, he didn't want to be judged on his first. Second season, I'm paying more interest now and thinking, are we improving on things? Too early to tell. But I've already seen the pressing looks better this season. That's it. But if your defense is still bad and your attack's still bad, it doesn't matter, does it? That pressing stands for nothing.
Yeah, it just creates gaps for them to exploit. Daniel's got a question here. If Ange doesn't get Champions League football 2 years in a row, Levy won't be buying into this project. Potts got top 4 second season. Ange has to get Champions League this season. You think that's a correct statement? Or do you think we'll be afforded a little bit more time because of the fact that
it will depend if we sit in 5th or 6th, even 7th, and there's still European football next season, I don't think Levy's going to be looking to pull the trigger. However, if the fans turn significantly on Ange and there's booing in the stadium on a regular basis, he'll get rid of them just to appease the fans.
Yeah,
that's all.
Make himself look good. As you lead into that, Patty's got a question for us here. Can you ever see the fan base being as one? For me, it's a solid no. I don't think you could ever make anybody happy. Everybody.
There's circumstances where it could happen, but I think the only thing that is going to unite this fan base is if we start winning things.
Coops, all jokes aside here, I bet even if we won the quadruple, there would be a section coming out of our fan base saying, why wasn't it done before? Why did we have to wait so long for it? Why have we been left in the dark for 16 years? I'm just saying, there's always people that are negative will always find a negative angle somehow.
But winning the quadruple? Oh, come on, surely not. well, in that case,
I wish they win, so I could take a little cheeky £5 bet with you, saying there will be at least one person, at least one, that would come out and say, "Why didn't we achieve this earlier? Why did we have to wait so long? Why did it take them so long to get it right?"
Yeah, I'll probably say that.
Thinking about
it. while I'm drinking the champagne and throwing confetti in the air. About time.
Brian's still here.
You know what?
16 years.
Seriously, hang on, read this one first.
Sorry, go ahead.
Troy, 16 years, which becomes 17 years next month, as Martin Yole was sacked at the end of October. Bang on. That I've done this one before. I first started suspecting Levy was not the man for the job when he sacked Glenn Hoddle. Because when Glenn Hoddle came in, it was to replace George Graham, who had just won a trophy with us, despite being unliked because of his Gooner ties. But we got rid of him and brought in Glenn Hoddle because we wanted to bring the football back. Get our Spurs back. So he brought Hoddle in, fan favourite, of course, then failed to back him, then sacked him, and brought in Jacques Santini. Jacques Santini is nothing like the Spurs style of play. He's an incredibly pragmatic manager. So I knew then Levy's not telling the truth. He's just absolute. Either he doesn't have the faintest idea who these managers are, or he's lying. So
Wasn't that built on the fact that Santini, wasn't it? He just won Europa or something with Sevilla. It was kind of
it was national manager as well. France, wasn't he? But he basically somebody that put 10 players behind the ball at all times, and a 0-0 was a good result. So the football was dreadful; had gone completely backwards, and this was apparently bringing the glory days back to the club. Then when Martin Yole got sacked, that was it. That's when my season ticket got handed in. I've never spent a penny on Spurs since, not a single penny.
And I don't blame you. And there's a lot of people that feel like that. I definitely know this guy does. Levy could unite the fans.
Yeah.
Huh?
If the right ownership came in, supposing Levy left and say Jeff Bezos came in, bring the whole Amazon thing, we'd have to rename the stadium the Amazon Bowl. It works.
Yeah,
it works. It's a pun and everything. Is it? Yeah, it's all there. If that came in and we suddenly saw money flying in and just basically fingers up to FFP and all that, just like Manchester City had done.
Apparently, allegedly, 115 times.
Yeah, well, they've done it anyway. Does anybody really think they're not going to get away with it? They'll get away with it. Enough clubs are doing it. They're not going to ban everybody because there's always the threat of, if we can't do what we want to do, we're going to do the Super League and we're off.
Yeah.
The EPL will cave in. They absolutely will.
Fair enough. Levy only cares about the fans and as it affects his bottom line, but we know a lot of people that would agree with that. Destiny's here as well. Good afternoon. What's the point of fan forum if you're not going to answer the questions? Great question. Kudos. Great question. But we all know that that's kind of the thing that they wanted in a controlled environment. They only want the questions they want. That's
the beauty of social media and YouTube. We can be, as fans, give our amateur opinions on stuff, but it's our opinions. Take them or leave them. At least we can say things we want to say and discuss them with each other, even if we have arguments over it. Doesn't matter. It's just us talking, isn't it?
It is.
It could be. I always treat these channels like just being in the pub with a few friends. You can have a heated argument over something, but at the end of the day, we're not changing anything. We can just
like that thing, by the way. We've noticed a few people have tried to steal it a little bit, but
it's almost like being in the room together, isn't it?
What do you mean? We're not in the same room?
Well, you got better decorations. Oh no, that's too much. My arm doesn't bend enough.
How great would it be if a little brown hand just popped up and went around your shoulder right now?
Okay,
hey, behave. It's not the Saturday show. Protest won't work. Be a homie, not a jabro. I love this line from Leo, man. This is my favorite line. Smash that like button. Okay, just Patty and Brian here having a bit of a chat. Like that, I got 8 and so much time to build. You know what, Destiny? But the difference is that Arteta, as soon as he came in, won the FA Cup. Did he not? Right away. So I think that kind of gave him that cushion. Did it? Am I wrong with that? You think? What are your thoughts?
No, absolutely right. But look at the ownership again. At Arsenal, they're prepared to actually spend big when they think it's going to push them forward, and we're not.
Fair enough. Scott, there's a lot of things I agree with you, but I think this one is a bit off here. Not too many fans. Well, not too. Okay, he's not saying every fan. Okay, fair enough, Scott. Not too many fans don't want success. Straight to view it as a bad thing. I don't know about the idea of winning is a bad thing.
I don't think many people genuinely think that either.
No, I get where he's kind of coming from, where maybe they're not as, let's say, supportive of what needs to be done to make the changes. When you have 100, 150 people showing up protests when that is what's needed for a call to change, it's kind of disappointing. There is some unity.
That's what the fan base is. That's what the fan base is.
They've divided us really well. Talking about divide and conquer, they've done fantastic with it.
You get it in politics as well. People who complain about the government, but then when it comes to time to vote, they can't be bothered.
Say exactly what Scott just said.
People
don't want change, use pathetic excuses to do nothing. Like you just said, Coops, I'll complain about my local politician, and then I won't go vote for the other guy.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Why even though I've given up on the idea of we're going to be able to change anything with Levy, I'm still going to back Brian, the likes of Brian Daigle. I'm still going to repost his tweets. I'm still going to do the little bits I can do to help with Levy out. But I'll just feel it's there's a Norwegian phrase, "Alamonamo samusa itise hava," and it's like it means every little bit helps, said the mouse as he pissed in the harbour. That's what it feels like saying Levy out at the moment.
What language was that?
Norwegian. Bad Norwegian.
You really are a Norwegian sex dog. When is the fan form? Do you know?
No, because I've got no interest in it. Like I said on this stream, people say in the comments, they never ask the questions I really want to hear anyway. So I don't.
Exactly. Yeah, you're not going to be able to ask that. You're not going to be able to say to Ange, "Do you feel like you're back properly, or do you realize that you got hosed as soon as you got here and you've been scammed?"
This exactly, Brian. The way I look at the Graham stroke Hoddle thing as it was power play in the eyes of Spurs fans, he fired the devil and hired God. Looked good, but another failure. Absolutely, it was just all bullshit from the start. It's just we didn't know it back then.
Yeah, Scott M saying that no, not too many fans will ask the right questions, basically. So those are the fans they want asking the questions. Though, right? Now I got luck with Jim White. Wow.
Well,
wow.
At least he's a Spurs fan,
owner, right?
At least he is a Spurs fan.
Is he?
Yeah.
But that was the former Newcastle owner, right?
Yeah, that's right. He is a Spurs fan.
Zuckerberg. Ooh. Wow, I wouldn't mind him coming in. He's a dodgy bastard too, though.
Mate, I haven't got long left. I don't care who comes in, no matter how dodgy their past is. If they're going to come into the club and buy great players and get us to win something, I'm all for it.
World famous Spurs. Haven't seen you in here before. Appreciate you joining the chat here.
Big up, mate.
Adrian is saying we've not progressed and grown since Poch. That's an argument that can be definitely be had, because we earlier talked about how we moved into the new stadium and years later we are behind where we were from being at White Hart Lane, generating less than half of what we generate now. We didn't have all the the F1 and the concerts and the boxing matches and all that extra revenue coming in. That was supposed to be used to improve our team, because this stadium was going to put us up there with the big boys.
Yeah. And I'd say another notable change in how things have gone since Levy took over, even under Alan Sugar. We had some crap years under Alan Sugar, but we did win 2 trophies in that decade, even though one's before he took over. But one thing he did have an appreciation of, he knew how to put his hand in his pocket and pay for some quality players to come in. We did see the Berbatovs, the Ginellas, and that sort of ilk coming in. How often do we really see that nowadays? How often? Look at the team right now. How many superstars have we signed that's in this team?
Well, we've got one that people are saying is declining big time at a rapid pace now.
And the argument is,
and the other one is
the argument is, were they a superstar when they arrived with us? You'd say there's a lot that were doing well and on the upward trajectory, such as Romero, but are they superstar status now? I don't feel excited about this team most of the time.
Sorry, excuse me. I'll let you answer this here. Question from Phil here.
Mike Ashley or Alan Sugar? I'd actually take Alan Sugar.
Yeah, because Mike Ashley didn't
he saved us, and at least I could share some of these great players coming in. Klinsmann came in under Sugar. That's the one you have to point at. Oh, moments like that are fantastic, but he had his.
He's not Teddy Sheringham, but he's all right.
Well, obviously, Teddy Sheringham's great player for us as well. But Jurgen Klinsmann was like the legendary, world famous striker. Everybody knew exactly what he was. That was an incredible moment. I haven't seen anything like that since. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, sorry, just we're finally getting caught up here with the comments here. It didn't leave you by Berbatov. Yes, he did. But again, at the time, Berbatov wasn't a world star, was he?
No.
He came from Germany, right? Was it
Bulgaria?
Or something?
Oh, when he actually signed. Oh, I forgot which club we got him from. Was it Leverkusen? It might have been somebody like that.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Jay, do you know who Berbatov was playing for when we signed him?
Let me check.
He's on the case. I agree with your last comment. They're just having to talk with each other. Sugar would be a Tottenham. Yeah, good point. Very good point. A lot of people said that he basically saved the club. It sold the lie with the new stadium and gets
Leverkusen.
Yeah, it was. It was Leverkusen. Wow, I actually remembered a football fact. Holy shit, get me signed up on a quiz right now. Yeah, that's my moment of glory. I think we better just end the show and call it a day.
I honestly couldn't remember which exact club. I just remember he's Bulgarian. But yeah.
Yeah, no, that I remember. Yeah. We're 20 million debt will now go show. Yeah, that's true. Are clear of us right now. Yeah. Okay, everybody's just having a chat with each other. Vandevart was the last player I was excited about signing.
True, that is one. That is one. I'll give him
there's
one signing there.
Destiny, I'll give you that, but there's another Van that's come in, and it's Van de Ven, and you should be excited about that because I'm very disappointed in what I heard from my boy over here. I don't know why he's so angry with me though. Yeah, it was. There we go. We got to confirm. Thank you. Yeah, everybody's just confirming that for us, Patty. Again, Kane was very similar to Klinsmann. The only difference is Klinsmann was just flash, though, wasn't he? Kane just makes it look boring and simple, kind of thing. Whereas Klinsmann was really get you out of your seat, kind of like, all right, something's going to happen, kind of thing.
Again, this is one that I know it goes. It's unpopular with other fans, but I actually think Klinsmann was a better player. Just was. It was the pinnacle of his. Well, I suppose you could argue Kane is as well, but for me, there was something absolutely. Oh my God, we've just signed Klinsmann. It was jaw dropping. I remember that moment in time when I heard the news, and I was standing in an office with a sheet of paper in my hand.
Was it a tissue?
I went to go and get some of that big wad of it.
One day we're going to have to get through one of these shows and actually be like professional through the whole damn thing. I don't think we'll ever.
It's not happening, is it?
No, it's too much. That's not the way we roll, yo. And our fans don't want it. Actually, we've got over 40 people in here, so appreciate that. Hit that like button, folks. And again, any questions you have, anything you want to ask Kuva, by all means, this is your opportunity. He's actually not my guest. He's the co-host of the show on the channel. My man, that is Kuva99, the legend himself. There is, you can follow him. You're still on Twitter, right? Or X or whatever the hell it's called now.
Yeah, my X account is basically it's to retweet whatever Brian Daigle will want to say about Levy.
Fair enough.
That is literally the only reason I still have it open.
Yeah, all jokes aside, this is not only my dear co-host, but one of the nicest people I've had the pleasure of meeting over the last few years in the YouTube community. He's been supporting me at a personal level as well, and I don't really want to say this in front of him because I don't want his ego to grow bigger than mine, and mine should be the biggest on the show. But I absolutely adore the guy as a human being. he's just one of the most wonderful people I've met, and his football knowledge, as far as I'm concerned, is almost second to none. The way he speaks about the team, the way he kind of emphasizes his points without being rude, the way he could disagree with somebody else's point without belittling them, to me is just absolutely fantastic. I don't think I could have found anybody better or to have sitting beside me. I'm a very lucky person. I won the lottery when it comes to co-hosts here. So Koovs, thank you, and I love you, and you know that, buddy. But I don't need to say that.
For God's sake, get a room, man. Oh wait. Oh, yeah. Cheers.
You just tell me when it went.
same feelings replicated, man, mate.
Other than the footballing knowledge part, though, come on now. Be honest.
There's just people I like spending time with on stream. It's fun. It's like I said, I treat all of these things like being in the pub with friends. It doesn't have to be professional.
Yeah, but you're good though. You can come from here. We can have a laugh. You can go on to Ben's show where we have a laugh. You go to Tottenham Away where you got to be serious and stuff. And you kind of go on Savage channel. You can go on Jacob's channel. You go everywhere, man. And that's a great thing. Everybody loves Koovs. Everybody wants a piece of Koovs, and there's a reason why, because he's just that. I very
rarely fall out with anybody, and even on the 2 times that I have on YouTube, I've sorted it out and we're friends again. So it's cool.
Fair enough. There's one thing I will say about Kuva.
Oh, that is fucking fantastic.
Oh, he is a fucking fantastic, I tell you. Oh my God, we've got a billion more comments here. I got to catch up. 13-year-old sitting in taxi and sugar, get out your checkbook. Eventually, yeah. Bobby's back. Hopefully, he had a good dinner. The Reefs was top 5 keepers who bottom in. Yeah, but
he was very much breaking through in his career at that point, though.
And then we're talking about we bought him from Lyon, right? We didn't buy him from PSG.
Yeah,
we didn't take him from Madrid. We didn't take him from Bayern. We didn't take him from the big dogs out there. We again took him from a team that's a little bit lower caliber, and we got lucky. That's kind of like what you were alluding to earlier.
I'll disagree with Stuart. I don't think he was top 5 at that point. He was a keeper with a huge amount of potential, and people within the game were saying he's going to be the next big thing coming out of the club. But we got him cheap for a reason. If he was already top 5, we would have paid big money.
Yeah, definitely. And if he was coming from a bigger club, but that's the argument, though. We're not willing to go to the big clubs and get the big players, right? So, oh my God, we're actually almost caught up with all the comments. And Patty, so in the same show earlier, you went from being called negative to a happy clapper. So,
as I said, I am quite happy saying I'm a fan. I will flip-flop on the drop of a hat. That's what fans should be doing, I believe. It's a game all about emotions. You've got to let fly. If you're unhappy with something, complain about it. If it's going well, popcorn, celebrate. It's all good.
Speaking of flip-flops, I do want to let people know that we are having a sale at the shop this week. There are flip-flops, 2 for 1 special. Just want to throw that out there. And the shelves are stocked. I know that's Saturday night content, but I have to throw it out there when I have the opportunity. Are we? I'm so glad that we spent before this show talking about the things, creating banners, and we got through 1 so far.
I knew that would happen. Come on, you knew it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So we got that. You said flat out, no, he's not the man to lead us to glory. I do want to know about this, though. Can you just give me 1 on each side of the scale and why?
Standout players for me, probably Maddison. He's had a return to form. Not quite the explosive form he had at the start of last season, but I think it's noticeable. He's getting more and more involved in games now. So I'll pick him probably against the others because I think I've highlighted the pressing being so impressive, but that's a collective thing. So I can't single out a single player for it.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would say, Pedro Porro's. Oh, hang on, Brian Daigle's just said as well. Porro's obviously contributed well this season. You look at little bits of quality when there isn't any. So you look at the ones that are showing it. Porro, Maddison for me are the 2 that are standing out. Otherwise, no, nothing major. It's a team thing. As for the ones that are disappointing, I'm going. People will say it's just jumping on the bandwagon or scapegoating, but I think Brennan Johnson's been shocking. I think he does nothing as a winger, nothing at all.
Oh, I thought you meant shockingly good because he's just so fast and he's so amazing. He's a what did you call him? The pace merchant without pace?
Yeah, the world's slowest pace merchant. Yeah, it doesn't seem to. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing. When he does put in a cross, it's to nobody, and half the time he gets set free. He could outrun a defender, and he doubles back. I don't know what's going on. I just don't think he's worth his place at all. And we've still got Timo Werner, so there's nothing happening there. Other disappointments. Let's say there's some I don't know what's happening with them. Bentancur just doesn't look like the player he was before that big injury. Still,
the injury and the two comments maybe as well that were made the off season.
He
hasn't come back with the same love.
Romero, no matter how much I like the bloke, and I really do, I think he's a great footballer, but I don't know what's going on with him in some of the performances. Against Newcastle, he's chasing around everywhere, way out of position. I don't know whether that's a tactic or he's just done it himself. I can't tell you. It doesn't look good, but I suppose if he did win the ball doing that, it would be amazing. So there's a lot of questions that still haven't been answered, and it's too early in the season for most of it. I think by Christmas, we'll know pretty much how the season's shaping up then. Could be Ange out by then. It could be things are.
Why? If you're going to go there, then let's just go here, shall we?
Yeah.
Just carry on with that then. By all means, carry it on.
Do I think he'll be out in January? No, I don't. Is it possible? Yes, of course it is.
Of course.
He could be out. He could be out by the end of September. If things go really badly.
Yeah.
But
end of September. You think 3 more weeks?
If we got hammered 3 games in a row, I'm talking 5-6 0s. Stranger things will happen than a manager going after that. But I don't think that will happen. Trouble is, he's got some tough games coming up before Christmas.
Yes,
we could be in a very mediocre league position. Alternatively, things might be clicking into place. Solanke might be the link up we need to help the goals start happening up front. And perhaps then all that pressing will count for something and we're getting some points in. So I can't tell you. Too early. All I know is we still have an imbalanced squad. I don't think there's enough talent up front to get us to win anything.
How about Bender? Fair enough. Now, you talked about you don't have enough talent and everything like that, which, again, just kind of leads us right into this one that we were going to talk about. It took us over an hour and 20 minutes to get through one topic, and now we're hitting the third one.
True.
In 5 minutes.
Transfer window
for me. Right into it.
Yeah, transfer window for me, it was a bizarre one because first of all, I thought when we're signing the likes of Archie Gray, Bergvall, I thought, great, we're going with the young players, we're going with a youth project, we're going to see the likes of Mikey Moore coming into the team, Donnelly, just given all their chances. And I thought, this is a perfect time, relatively new manager in, exciting attacking style of play. We can see them trying to add to that. And I would drop my expectations, say, if we finish mid-table, I'm fine with that because the players will then be getting the experience for the next season and improving. Yes. But we bought that side of it with Archie Gray, Bergvall. You could say Alderbear as well. I don't really rate Alderbear, but he's a kind of cookie cutter winger. If you start with the basics and then try and develop a good player out of it, that'll probably be him. He's a bit of pace. He can cross it. But he's not particularly good at anything at the moment. I don't see what the point was to go in the first team yet. If we're going with that project and developing the players, fine, I'm in with that. I know fans won't have the patience for it. I do. But on top of that, we then buy the ready-made players like Solanke, with then the most bizarre one of the lot, re-signing Timo Werner on loan.
And all those wages.
Sorry?
And on those wages as well.
Yeah. I just don't understand what's happening with the club. I don't know which direction we're going in. It seems to be just opportunistic buying, and then a few for the future. The few for the future aren't getting in the team, and the opportunistic ones are crap. So look at it overall, it's a pretty bad transfer window. But if you just if you had your Archie Gray, your Bergvall, and then you bought some real quality to go with it at the same time, that would suddenly look like a really good window. So it's just the odd one or two players. If we'd brought in a real top quality enforcer in the midfield, perhaps, what people are always talking about, the number 6 sort of thing. If we bought a Paulinho, for example, good player, we could have done that. If we
even
bought,
Locatelli was available, a lot of people were screaming for him.
yeah, you name it, somebody with a bit of experience and a bit of quality about them, and then the young players learn off them. I think that would be really sensible, but we haven't done that. So they're going to have to learn off the players that are already here, and some of those are struggling. Basuma's form is questionable at best.
Yeah.
Although
he's alluding into form now.
Good golf, certainly.
Alluding into easy.
Okay. We'll let that. We'll work on that one, mate.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've got kind of. I don't know what's happening. We're a really confusing club. Really confusing. I still don't understand what direction we're doing.
Well, you can see with Bobby's comment here as well. And being support, just teenager with no experience, outgoings, we can't complain because we didn't shift off a lot of dead wood. But like you already alluded to earlier, we shift off a lot of dead wood. But have we bought dead wood because we don't know what to expect from these kids or what they're going to end up being in the future?
And as usual, the overreaction for Odegaard, I thought was weird. It's like, we've signed one of the greatest wingers in the world. And I remember when we did sign him, people asked in one of the group chats, "Oh, does anybody know anything about this bloke?" And I said, "Is that the Burnley winger?" And I was the only one that knew who he was at that point, and I didn't see anything special about him.
Yeah,
it just looked like he has a good attitude. I think Ange favours that.
I didn't know anything about him until Vincent Kompany came out afterwards and said, "Oh yeah, he's going to be a great player in the future."
Yeah,
that's about all I know about the kid. All Spurs fans are looking at our Spurs. I'm going to assume that's supposed to be our Spurs looking at Rabiot as he's a free agent. He can join immediately.
Bollocks to him. He didn't want to come in the first place.
Yeah.
We want him now.
Yeah, Balpinder saying he's lost as well. So, yeah, very, very confusing in terms of the direction of the club. And that kind of explains why we have so many people that are frustrated and irritated, because even after all these years, you still don't know where you're going.
Well, personally, I think a club of our stature and our financial ability should not be dabbling in freebies and bargains all the time. We should be going out and just buy some absolute quality, and then you can bring in your youngsters with it.
Yeah,
that's a sensible
just a
way
balance,
of doing it.
is all you're saying.
We've done half of it.
Yeah,
that's the trouble. It's what we always tend to do.
But is this a transfer window that kind of starts that, though? Is this the first real one? Is this the first foundational build? Can you look at it that way at all?
No, not for me.
No, fair enough.
A failed opportunity. Like I said, I agree with the signings of Bergvall and Archie Gray, but I also agree with you bring through Mikey Moore now. He's shown already in pre-season. Okay, that's crappy opposition he's performing well against.
Yeah.
But look at him compared to the other forwards.
Yeah.
He was way better.
Yeah.
He's the only one I think, ability-wise, up there with Sonny.
Even that Lancashire kid did, Will.
Yeah, he did himself no harm.
Fantastic. And he was. It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
So I only got to watch one preseason game because the availability overrun the box. But I watched this kid come in and play like 7 or 8 minutes and then get subbed again. And in that few minutes, he scores a goal every time.
Yeah, true.
So, did we just basically kind of make room for Solanke then? Leo saying it was a great window in and out.
Oh, he's expanding on that, saying it's more about the deadwood. Yeah, I can see the argument for that, Leo, but I would argue a lot of the deadwood are still in the team. Or in the first team squad, I should say.
Daniel is just basically saying something in Spanish. I will translate for everybody. This basically says that one love to all. It's great being a Spurs fan. Don't be too negative. The sun is always shining. Kuva, you're so freaking hot. Bobby, you're not bad. Cheers, Daniel. One love, bro. We need another 1 or 2 players. Yeah, there's it. Yeah, that's kind of what Kuva's saying there, Bobby. That just another 1 or 2 proven, solidified players that can kind of hold the hands of the younger kids, so that when things aren't going well for them, instead of them getting discouraged, they kind of get the right advice, constructive criticism, maybe to kind of improve their game.
Yeah, and coaching.
Yeah,
and
it's free coaching.
Like I said, Odegaard in particular, I see him as that cookie cutter idea of a winger. You know, supposing you play in a game like a Football Manager or something, and you see like this sort of 9 or 10 scores down the board. He's not particularly good at anything, but you can't say he's particularly bad at stuff either. You just don't know what he's got so far. He's going to develop. He's going to change a lot. But I thought it was very strange to sign him to go straight in the first team.
What did he say?
Fair enough. This is Mark's the sheriff's favorite comment of the day for me about the hotel doesn't take as long to build as this team. Grabs in the house. Good afternoon, man. Good to see you, buddy.
It's got a fair point.
Terrible window. Yeah, okay. I like Lancashire. He's built. Yeah, he's built like a man. Yeah. Get him in over Richie. I think he would be in had we got Richie sold off to Saudi. I think that would have made a big difference.
Yeah, I still think we were lacking. I mean, for me, people say about the 6 and everything that we needed, or another defensive, left-sided centre back. Yeah, of course we need them. But for me, the most cryingly urgent thing was that forward line. I think it's just devoid of talent and ideas, and too many times we need a little bit of magic. That's what I was so excited about the likes of Eze. If he'd joined us, that would have made a big difference. Yeah. At least he has got genuine skills. He can do little bits of magic that will unlock a defence. We don't have enough of that sort of player. Mikey Moore, I think, has got that sort of ability. He's already, like I said, it might have been crappy opposition he played against, but he stood out compared to the other forwards trying it.
Fair enough. I had highlighted a comment here from Patty earlier that I didn't get to. I just remembered to get to it now. He was asking, would you ever think of attending a game? Now, I think this is based on if you were able to attend a game.
Oh, yeah, of course. You? Yeah, hell yeah, I would. But I mean, me personally, I mean, I'm registered disabled, Paddy, so I find it difficult to get anywhere anyway, even out of the house down the road. So I used to be a season ticket holder. I've seen hundreds of games, home and away. I've seen great times through the 80s, even some of the 90s when we didn't have a greatest team, but I still loved it. Something changed for me when it went all-seater. I didn't enjoy the matches as much. And over the years, my little group of fans fans that have lived in the low areas around London, Boreham Wood, Barnet areas, places like that, we used to meet up before the games and then go in, bit drunk, to be fair, as you do, and just have a laugh with it. Over time, people have picked up families and, moved on, changed lifestyles. That group sort of dissipated over time. And now it's a case of, do I really want to, arrange for kids to have babysitters over a weekend so I can spend money I can't afford to going up to watch a game? No, I don't.
And hassle the travel and everything as well with your conditions. And everything.
Exactly.
It's not that easy.
It's not worth my time.
That being said, now you kind of willingly drank before the games in the olden days to have a good time. Do you think the fans now have to drink just to get through the game?
Yes. There's not. I mean, I think this is one of the things I'm most disappointed with Ange, although I'm hoping he can turn it around, is we were told how good the football was going to be, and it just wasn't last season. Yeah. We played really badly in a lot of games, and, the attacking intent is there, but it's done so badly it's not a good watch. When we do get it right, it's great. Even against Newcastle, some of the little passing movements to get the ball up the pitch quickly would be fantastic. But then it all breaks down in the final third. So what's the point? We'll see. We'll see anyway. But back to me about going to a game. I'm hoping at some point I feel like I'm ready to actually make the trip up there. And I want to sort of tie it in.
Oh, we're going to a game next time I set foot on English soil. If I'm going to a game.
We're going to tie it in with the full round trip, Ben's coffee shop and everything. And,
hell yeah. Yeah.
Too many people up in that neck of the woods now that I want to meet.
Well, I'm telling you now, I'm going to land close to you, hire a car there, and drive us all to London.
I'll just have to see if the kids want to go or if their mum's prepared to have them for the weekend, whole weekend.
I'll get a van. I'll get a vehicle with a trunk. They can come.
They might not want to. They don't like football.
You know what? This isn't about what they like.
However, they do like saying disparaging things about Chelsea, and that's good enough.
Yes. Big up, Rowan. Appreciate it.
Not just Ronan. Owen did it the other day as well. We were back stream and he just came in from school, shouted out Chelsea wankers.
No, I'm just trying to think though. Am I confused? Is that Owen's thing or is it Ronan's thing?
It's Ronan's thing originally.
Ronan's thing, yeah, I thought so originally.
Yeah.
Bobby's asking, how many more do we need to move?
How many more do we?
How many players do we still need to get rid of? Basically, how much more deadwood is in there?
For me, Johnson, Werner,
Richie.
I won't say Odegaard because I just don't know what kind of player he's going to develop into.
Yep.
I would say some of the. I'm going to have to think about this more. We got long. I'll need to look at the list of players.
The
really,
team list? Okay, no problem.
Anybody that's not currently getting into the team or pushing to get into the team as a starter, I'd say a surplus. Ben Davis, that's another one. Fraser Forster, players that just don't really offer anything to push us forward. They're just fillers at the moment. So I think, and you've really made your cold starting to affect me. I told you not to ring me.
I'm sorry I coughed on the phone the other day. Here, Coops, I'll make it a bit easier for you. Does this help? Did that work?
No.
Yes, it did. Okay, so here we go.
There's so many there. I won't even say about which ones need to go. I'll just think.
How's this, Kuvas? Just give me a stay or go. Sonny?
Stay.
Slacky?
Stay.
Archie?
Stay.
Lucas?
Stay.
Richie?
Go 3 times.
Wilson?
Stay-ish. I don't know.
Yeah, if it's ones that just come in, I'll skip over them actually because we can't really judge them just yet. Radu?
Stay.
You've already answered Timo. I know your answer for this one, or it better be the one I expect. Mickey?
Stay.
Christian?
Stay.
I think might be time for this guy to go. Rodrigo?
That's a difficult one because I know he's a good player, but can he recover that form? I'm starting to have doubts that will happen.
That and his respect in the club. I think he's damaged himself a little bit with his disparaging remarks regarding Sonny in the offseason.
There's that to it as well, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a bit of that. Matters?
Stay.
Poro?
Stay.
Spence?
Go.
Basuma? Yeah.
At the moment, stay because we need him. But if he's not picking up that form again this season, I don't see the point.
How's this? We keep him, but we give him helium on a regular basis.
He needs. Yes, his performances have been deflated, haven't they?
See, I laughed when you said it.
I was laughing.
You've already told me about Johnson Kulu.
Stay. I think there's enough there to. Oh God, I'm not sure actually. He's another one on the fence for me. I think if he's for his natural position, he's not good enough. But he kind
of as a cam, he's better. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of works. I think him and Maddison together have got something. There's something there, but I think it could be better. Stay.
Okay, so we'll keep him for now. Regulon?
Well, he's already gone, isn't he?
Is he?
He's nothing. He's never coming back to play for us.
Yeah, fair enough. Destiny, it's safe to say stay, yes?
Stay, yep.
Vicario?
Stay.
And Ben Davies, you already said go.
Yeah.
Sar?
I personally don't think he's good enough.
Wow.
I think he's got the energy, he gets box to box.
Wow.
I just don't see enough with it. I really don't.
Wow.
People make comparisons with him and like Vieira. They're nowhere near. Vieira was.
Oh, no. Come on. That's stretching.
Yeah, but Saar, what does he really do other than run around?
I'd say he's more of Sissoko level than Vieira.
Yeah, that's a closer comparison. I just don't rate that kind of player. I think you got to have a bit of passing ability. You got to have a bit of attacking intent. You got to have a bit of flair or do something to affect the game. I think he doesn't. He's kind of like he's the oil in the machine.
He's only 20 though, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, fair enough, but I'm just not seeing it at the moment. I really don't.
Okay. I'll rope the last three in together here. Brandon Austin, Fraser Forster, and Alfie Whiteman. Who do you think should be Cario's backup? Just pick one.
Brandon Austin. He's the talented one. He's got a bit of youth to him. Fraser Forster, I do not understand why he's at the club. We're paying him huge wages to just sit there doing nothing.
How does he have big wages?
Yeah, he's on about 90 grand or something silly.
Shit, man! I'll sit on that bench for $5K a week.
Yeah.
He's a big boy, so I'll bring a friend with me to occupy the 2 seats, right?
All I can think of is he's got a lot of experience, and maybe that's why they're keeping him there to improve the younger goalkeeper.
Okay, I can understand that, but if we're talking about Austin and Whiteman, we're not talking about 17-year-old kids anymore. These guys have been around for a while now.
Yeah.
Austin's what, 23, 24 now, I think?
Somewhere around that, yeah.
And Whiteman's only a year or two younger than him.
Yeah.
These guys have been around for a while.
I think they're
they had Lloris as well, too.
And they're plenty good enough to be on our bench if something happens to Vicaria.
Okay. Leo's saying it was a great push forward, getting the drops out. We still have a lot of work to do here, getting rid of the huge earners. But when we're signing people like Werner on huge wages, then this is where the confusion comes with which ways the project's supposed to be going. And Robbie's in the house as well, so big up, Robbie. Hope you're well, buddy, and good to see you in here. On People's offer transfer window. People just saying hi to each other. I will drag you to a game. Last season, we played good football 5-10 minutes, 2-3 times a game.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I'll take care of him. Bobby's saying Richie, Reggie, Gill, Basuma, Johnson, Timo, Fraser. Okay, so pretty much the same list. Kulu to stay. Cardoso could replace Basuma or Betancourt. Yeah, fair enough. We got first crack on him or something like that, don't we? Wasn't there something that was announced regarding him?
Yeah, if I'm honest, I heard the name come up and I didn't have the faintest idea who that was.
It's a kid from I think it's Sporting. Jay, who's that Cardoso kid from? In Portugal.
Betis, Raul Betis.
What?
Raul Betis is American.
Oh, he's an American?
With the little Salto deal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, American.
Oh, he's an American kid. Okay, he's a real
Raul Betis.
I mean, years.
I'm so glad he's
back,
been studying at college.
Yeah, years back, I used to keep up on all this. I'd always be watching all the European leagues, and I'll be up to date on the players. Nowadays, I just don't know anybody. So for me, all I can go is what people are saying about him, and people are saying this is a young Rodri in the making.
Oh, okay.
If that's true, we've got to keep tabs on him. But people say a lot of things. Brian Hill was Messi.
Well, so he's not?
Not quite. Just not quite making it, yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but Jason Bell, I believe we are. And it's something like 160K a week, isn't it?
I heard that's what he was on in his first season. I heard he's dropped to 100. But still, what's the point?
It can't be more than 30.
I genuinely don't even consider him a professional footballer.
Mark's trying to squeeze a free ride out of me here. If I'm picking you up, I got to pick him up on the way as well. No,
that's true.
After your anti-chocolate hate the other day, and how you're going to ban hot chocolate, now all of a sudden you want the chocolate guy to come pick you up. What do you guys say over there in England? Sod you, Mark. Just kidding, Mark. We'll keep room in the trunk. You can sit beside the kids. Dorsey deals a head scratch. I don't understand it. We have first refusal. Yeah, that's what it is. There's something really weird the way it was written up. That didn't even start. He didn't even start. He was on the bench. Oh, okay. Interesting. Last topic here, Coos, and then we'll wrap this thing up here. And we've been going for way longer than what we expected to go here. But this one here, is top 4 a pipe dream? Is it a realistic target? Is it a realistic achievement? And to furthermore add on to that, is it something you want? Would we be prepared for Champions League?
Is there something I want? Yeah, I want us to win stuff.
But do you want top 4?
Top 4, yeah, I want top 4 purely because right now it's money that can be used to improve the squad. That's all. We're going to do nothing worthwhile in the Champions League. We know this. We're not going to win it. So take the cash, enjoy a bit of fun, which would be all it is. Playing against some great European sides, and enjoy it for what it is. I think the long-term build is more important. I just don't see us really doing it, so it's all irrelevant. At the end of the day, I prefer to win us scrape through a Europa League win, actually lift the trophy or the League Cup, anything, just some silverware.
Yeah. You're not happy with the Tiger Cups?
Yeah. Is top 4 a pipe dream? No, it's not, because I don't see very many teams that look convincing for it. I think Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool are going to be in the top 3, as far as I'm concerned, easily. They'll be way ahead of everybody else. So 4th is up for grabs. Are Newcastle going to be consistent enough for it? Don't know. Possibly not. Are we? Don't know. Possibly not. Villa, are they going to be as good as they were last season? Probably not. And the Man United's around, Brighton could be a dark horse for it. They bought well, as they always do, and they keep their style of play going. However, it's Brighton, so they could finish 12th as well. I think it's just a big dogfight amongst lots of teams for that 4th place at the moment. And yeah, of course we're in it, just for that reason. We're nowhere near the top 3 though.
Yeah. Well, Bobby's saying that he's already got a bad feeling about the derby. So do a lot of Arsenal fans. We don't know which team is going to show up. That's the thing. Is it the team that showed up for the first 20 minutes against Leicester? Is it the team that showed up for a very poor against a poor Everton squad, or is it the one that kind of was half in and out of the Newcastle game?
Here's the thing: from our point of view, we're hopeful, aren't we?
So
if I was an Arsenal player though and looking at Spurs, I wouldn't be worried.
Mark is saying that Levy's fingers will be on the trigger if we don't hit top 4, but it'll be interesting to say. I believe it was Daniel Daniel said as well up here, he has to get Champions League or win Europa League, something along those lines. And they were addressing it here. Audio was kind enough to fill us in regarding the deal. It's the first refusal, and we get a sell-on fee if somebody else buys him.
Yes, really an unusual clause, isn't it?
Dude, this is straight out of the mind of Daniel Levy, though. How unusual is it?
Oh, yeah. Well, I've never heard of one like that before.
Trust him to create his own deals, right? That benefit him.
Yeah, but if you've got the sell-on clauses on when it's the player himself, and loads of times that's happened in the past. But to be part of a clause on the purchase of a different player, that's wow. That's creative.
I was going to say that's genius. So that's me coming to you saying you're selling stuff at your shop. If you don't sell it, if I don't buy it from you and somebody else comes and buys your product, I get a cut. For doing
meanwhile, I'm also having this player off you, or you can have this.
You can have this. Yeah. Here's my old moldy stock. Oh well, that's it. Cool. We've run out of banners. Anything you want to finish up? Anything you want to add there? I think we've had a pretty good chat today.
Very quickly touch on the drama in the community and just say that what's happened with.
I know you want to do this, so I'll let you.
Yeah, I wasn't going to but I think just sensibly way I'm looking at it. I hope is everything that's happened has been things that have built up for a long time. Jacob said his piece. Stell's had a chance to respond to it and address any bits they thought were untrue. As far as I'm concerned, that's it. Draw a line under it, move on. We just want to get back to talking about football. It's more fun. What's done is done. It's all out in the open. Everybody can make up their own mind. And I think neither of us going to change anybody's opinion because everybody's already made up their opinions on both people. So what does it all matter? Back to the football. And both Jacob and Stell have said this, that that's all they want to do. They just want to get back, talk about the football and not get involved in any of this anymore. Leave it where it is.
So as the kids used to say back in the day, leave the drama for your mama. And stick to the football, right? But that is it for us. Thank you all for joining us. Coos, thank you again for joining me today. I know it was the last minute thing we threw together here, but I'm really glad that we were able to do this. I know, apologies to our members. I know we haven't been putting out a lot of content. We've been a bit lazy this summer. Unfortunately, me and Coos both at the same time went through a few health things. But we are back. We will be back most likely next week. We will do an ATF show after. Oh, no, that'll be before. We'll do an ATF show before the derby and discuss the preview. And then as of Friday, there'll be a new show starting up here on Three Spurs Boys. That will be with Queen Ellie and Little K. They are going to be doing a match preview show together. So that'll be a little something that's pretty much all I know about the show because that's between them. So I just push buttons and make very cheesy thumbnails and cheesy intro videos. That's about the scope of what I throw in. Yeah.
And as for the rest of it, we're talking about YouTube, the community. We are Spurs fans, talking to other Spurs fans at the end of the day.
Yeah.
None of us is an expert on anything. So all opinions are possibly valid or possibly not. It doesn't really matter. And we're on a platform that encourages people with no experience to come and broadcast their viewpoints.
That's me.
So it's all fun. And who gives a toss? Just be nice to each other because none of this really matters at the end of the day. Family, friends, and just having a bit of laugh, bit of fun time when you come on. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
If you're not having fun when you're doing content, it's not worth doing.
There you go. Jason Bell saying he's enjoying our ATF. So one person thinks we actually, well, you know what you're doing, but
yeah,
we've got one person convinced that
it's too early in the morning. Yeah, too early in the morning to be drinking, isn't it, Jason? Come on.
But it might be. We don't know where Jason is exactly, but I just want to say, Jason, cheers. Regular content. Yeah, we will get back to regular. Great show. Had a good time. I appreciate it. Sent you a WhatsApp. It's probably something regarding me in a Captain America suit or some sort. But that is it for us. Kuva's had his final words. I hope you enjoyed getting into Kuva's mind a little bit and his thoughts regarding the season so far. Kuva, I appreciate you taking the time to kind of
hopeful optimism. I'm just still taking that into the season.
The quad is on, baby.
Oh, that's a good point. Actually, I said if the transfer window is a complete disaster, I'm done. I'm not going to talk about Spurs anymore. The trouble is the transfer window left me in limbo because it's potentially good with Bergvall and Gray establishing themselves throughout the season. If that happens, it's a good window. If it doesn't happen, it's a bad window. So I'm kind of, I'll do some streaming, but I'm not sure at the moment.
We'll see how we feel, right? There's always
if it all goes
always time for a walk and shake a dicky for us.
If it goes tits up in the season and it's just a horrible mess at this club again, we will just do the comedy.
Do you imagine how great the content's going to be here, though?
Oh, well, yeah.
There'll be weekly visits to the Shake a Dicky Forest for people.
Yeah, we'll get back to the silly stuff then.
Silly? I thought that was high quality content.
those tales from your childhood.
Yeah, man. I remember those walks through the forest. It was really weird when that one man took me back there, and I was like, "Mister, it's getting really dark. You know, I'm getting a bit scared." And he's like, "Well, how do you think I feel? I've got to walk back alone."
Anyway,
that's it for us, buddy. See you next time. That doesn't make sense. That's the intro.